Hello, my name is Kevin Aronson from the Hampshire School of Photography, and this is a short video explaining how to do this. Hang on, it's this side, this side, there, yes, that. How to get multiple versions of you or anybody else on a single image. So we're going to be using mostly Photoshop in this, but there's some techniques to know in Lightroom and also some techniques about how you take the image. Let's make this full screen and get me out of the way, and we can make that bigger as well with a bit of luck. Let's see if we can do that. And yes, bigger, there we go. So this is the picture I took in the office where I'm sitting right now, and I did this I guess in about 15 minutes, something like that. It's very easy to do, and the whole principle behind what we're going to do is we're going to take multiple shots of you or the person you want to photograph in the same place without moving the camera. So in this case, the camera, which was a Fuji X-T3 with a very wide angle lens, I think it was a zoom set to 10mm, so very wide. The final image has been cropped a little bit, and it's fixed high on a tripod, and I'm controlling the camera remotely from my phone. Now you can control it remotely from whatever you like, or you can put it on interval timer or something like that. You need some kind of method where you can fire the camera remotely without really touching it, because as soon as you press the shutter button, the camera moves very slightly, and you don't want that. You actually want it to be rigidly still without moving between shots. And just to prove the point, if I click on the first image here, which I think is an empty one. No, it's not. It's me lounging back in the chair. Oh, actually, the first one is empty. There we go. Then there's one of me lounging back in the chair. So that's the first picture I took, firing it remotely by my phone. You can't see me doing it because my hand's out of sight. It's my right hand. Then the next shot, where did I go to from there? Oh, I stood over the computer screen, firing the camera remotely. Then the next one, I was holding another camera. Then I was sat down at my wife's computer, and then finally I'm laying on the floor, again firing everything remotely from my phone, until we got all those shots and we put them back together. So it's really important that your camera is rock steady. Now if you don't have a tripod, then maybe put it on a window ledge or on a wall, something like that, but it really makes a lot of difference if you can fire it remotely, either via a long cable release or a wireless trigger, or in the case of this particular camera, via an app on my phone. Now what we have to do is to gather together the 5 images we're going to use. So I'm just going to reposition my microphone and give myself a better view of my computer screen, and this is what we do. So let's just bring up the images. I'm only going to really want the flagged ones. There we go. 1, 2, don't need to see that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are going to select all of them down below here. So I'm going to press, once I've selected down here, picked out one, I'm going to press, on a Mac it's Command A, on a PC it would be Control A, and now they're all selected. They've all turned bright. Hold down the control button and just click on any one of them, and you get this pop-up menu. And what you want now is edit in. Usually we just edit in Photoshop, but on this occasion we open as layers in Photoshop. So what this is going to do is send all 5 images into Photoshop as layers on a single photograph. Let's just do that. And bring it up to full screen if I can. And what I want to show you is layers. And you'll see here that the layers are being put together, assimilated by the computer. In fact, it now has done all 5. And each one of those layers consists of the images that we originally looked at. So if I bring up, they're in the wrong sequence, of course, about to happen. and you can see each one being added until the last one added was the first picture I took. And if you're not used to layers, or you don't know where the layers palette is, then you can press F7 to bring it up, or if you go up to the Windows menu and you can select layers from there. There you go, see, F7, or just click on layers. And what we're looking at now, I'm just going to hide that one, get out of the way, go on, is all 5 images, but they're all hidden because I've turned their visibility off. So once you click on this little eyeball on the left hand side of each particular layer, it brings up that layer. And if I click on the next one, it brings up that one, and so on, and so on, and so on. I'm going to label these up so we can see at a glance what they are. So this is me on the floor. And then the next one is me at Linda's desk, so I'll just put Linda's desk. Linda's my wife and co-director of Hampshire School of Photography. This one is me with a camera. And the next one is me leaning. And then the last one is me lounging. Like a bit of lounging. Good. Okay. Take off the top 3. Just leave 2 at the bottom. And what we've got of those bottom 2, the first one is me on the floor, and the second one is me at my wife's desk. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to hide this shot here of me sitting at Linda's desk, and we're going to hide it with a black mask, layer mask. And the masks are available on this button down here. If you hover your mouse over it, it says add layer mask. If you hold down the option key in a Mac or the alt key on a PC and then click on it, you get a black mask appearing, and it's hidden, that layer. Remember that layer had a picture of me sat at the laptop down here? Well, it's now hidden from view. Black masks hide the layers they're on. But I'm there, you just can't see me. I'm going to punch through that black layer mask by painting on it with a brush, which is over here, or you can hit B for brush. There's my brush, you can see it moving around. And I need to make sure that I'm painting in the opposite colour to the mask. Now it's a black mask over here on the right, so I need to paint on it with white. And the colours are here. The white here is the foreground colour, black is the background colour. We want the foreground colour to be white. If it's not white, if it's black, you can toggle backwards and forwards by clicking on this little right angle sign, or if you hit the X key, it does the same thing. Every time I press X, it toggles backwards and forwards. If you've been using other colours and you've got a pink there, or a red or a brown, and you want to set it back to black and white, if you hit D for default colours, it resets it back to black and white, and then you can toggle using the X key between the 2 colours that you want. So I want to paint with white, I've got a brush, painting with white, and now I'm going to change the size of my brush, and I do that by hitting the square bracket keys on my keyboard. So one makes the brush bigger and the other one makes it smaller, so somewhere around there. Making sure that I have got the mask selected, not the picture, oops, don't want that, but the mask. The mask should be surrounded with these white corners. I can just paint as where I was, and look, here I come through. How about that? There I am. God, this is easy. There's the phone I used to fire the camera. And perfect. There I am in all my glory. That was easy, wasn't it? Let's now bring the next layer in, and it's hiding everything above, everything below it, sorry. You can't see the layers beneath it, but as soon as I add a black mask to that, which hides the layer with me and the camera on, everything beneath it will become visible. So press down the Option key on a Mac again, or on a PC, is it Alt, and I hit the mask button. Oh, didn't change my selection. Got to make sure I've selected the right layer. Do it again. And here we go. Black layer mask. So the black layer mask has now hidden the image of me standing with the camera. But I'm going to paint on it again with a white brush. Here we go. Here we go. Can you see how easy this is? It is ridiculously easy. Alright, good. Now we're going to go to the next one, which is me leaning over the computer screen. And again, black mask. You must learn not to copy me on this, but you select the right layer, Kev. Select the right layer. So I've picked now the right layer. Add a black mask. And with the white brush, there I am. Hanging over the monitor. There's a bit of extra shading going there because I've created a shadow, but otherwise that's good. So we've got 4 of me. Now the last one is slightly more complicated because it touches another version of me, so we'll have to be a bit more clever with the editing. So I'm going to click on me lounging, and with lounging selected, I'm going to pick my black mask and I'm going to paint. So there I am, my shoes, my kickers, throwback for the 1970s, kickers, and there's my hand there, and you see, because it's overlapping another image of me, it interferes with it. So I've got to sort that out. I'm going to zoom in, magnifying glass, make my brush smaller, and now rather than paint with white, I'm going to paint with black. So at the moment, your left hand side here, you see I'm with white. I'm going to hit X to toggle to black. Toggle into black repaints back in the black mask, and so hides the image that it was hiding. Here we go. So you might have to faff around with this a little bit just to get it absolutely perfect. So I want to make sure I get my fingers. Doesn't matter if you get it wrong, you always go back, and as long as you toggle between black and white, you can make any kind of correction you want. So I'm toggling back to white, and I'm just going to go in really close. I'll make it a bit smaller. Here we go. I find it very therapeutic doing stuff like this, where you're just kind of repairing stuff, and it's very cathartic. I'm using a Wacom brush here rather than the mouse. I find that for this kind of work, the Wacom brush is invaluable, and it has much more sensitivity than a mouse. Many years ago, must be, I don't know, 11 years ago, I was getting very bad repetitive strain injury in my wrist from using the mouse every day, and I'd read somewhere that if you went over to a pen like the Wacom pen and tablet, because you're holding it very much like a kind of pencil or a pen, it cures your RSI, and after a few weeks my RSI disappeared, never to come back again. Okay, so I reckon now I'm going to just go for a bit of a softer brush so I can kind of blend those last few pixels together in a more gentle, less obvious way. Let's zoom out. Command 0 to do this, or Control 0 on the PC. Not bad. I've got to do the same down here. So let's, because you lost my bottom in this shot. So turn to black, painting in black. easy to do this is. Very satisfying. I'm just going to toggle back to white because I think I've probably gone over the arm a little bit, just a little bit. Just there. Let's zoom out. And there we go. All done. Now there's a little bit of clearing up to do here because we've got some marks on the sensor. There's one there. I don't know if you can see this on the video very clearly. There's another one there. There's a kind of a funny thing going on there. I really must get my sensor cleaned. But before we do that, what we're going to do is just bring these all together into one single panel, one single layer. So I usually select the bottom layer, hold down the control key and then click, and you get this menu bar, and I'm going to click flatten image, and all those layers are now reduced to one, reducing the file size significantly. Let's just get rid of those marks, shall we? So where are we? Patch tool, that would do it. Patch tool, yeah. And let's just draw that around there and drag that to there. I got rid of that one. We're just going to get rid of that one. See, I can see them clearly on my screen, but you may not be able to see these on the video. Video doesn't render quite so much detail. Then there's another issue up here with strange. Oops. I've pulled it out of the window now. Let's just see if we can sort that out. And drag that to there. That's good enough. There's one more here. I'm going to get rid of that. That'll do. Okay, now we close this down. And the way I close images down in Photoshop so that they get sent straight back into Lightroom is I go Command W, which means can close the window. On a PC it's Control W, which means close a window. And this doesn't just work in Photoshop, it works in nearly every piece of software you're ever going to use. Very helpful if you've got lots of stuff on your screen, you just want to close them down. So if you're in Word or Excel, whatever it is, on a PC press Control W, on a Mac Command W. And when I do that, it says, do you want to save it? Yes, I do. It's saving it. And in a moment, there we go, saving at 99%, and it's closed it down. Now, that's Photoshop. I'm going to switch over to Lightroom, which I'm kind of hoping you'll see when I do this. Yeah, you can, good. And there's the image. There is the image. So that wasn't too difficult, I hope. Let's see if we can bring me back up on the screen. Yes, it's me. Hope that wasn't too difficult. If you've got any questions, send them in. And if you take any shots and you process and you have some success with this and you got something you'd like us to see, send them in. We'd love to have a look. That'd be fantastic. Hope you found it interesting. See you again next time. Cheers.